Welcome everyone back to another Sunday Honkai Star Rail stream. I hope everybody is doing well this morning. Not much has changed in the world of Honkai Star Rail when it comes to like what's going on. We are still with this main story patch that came out, and then of course this temporary, like, it's not limited, but it's like the rewards maybe a little limited, some of these extra bits, but the Seal Slammer is still ongoing. There is a Planner Fisher event at 300%. The usual, if you can invite someone to come back. Castorice is still here, but she will be ending shortly, so we will be getting to see if we can pull for Anaxagrius and Dr. Ratio next Sunday. Apocalyptic Shadow reset, and then that's about it. If you haven't done the Tycoon game for the anniversary event, that is still ongoing. As you can see, I have the venue and that at 100%, and I have maxed out like all of these bits. I think the only thing I'm not done with is the calendar. Yeah, so you can see where I am. I am at 63 out of 99 for this like extra bit. And then assistance. We are very slowly making our way up. I do not know at this rate if we are going to be able to max out any of the characters before this event ends, but we will try our hardest. But yeah, so we are currently at 630 as our highest level card so far. So yeah, not much else is happening, just trying to increase the amount of money I make so I can increase the characters. We'll keep you up to date on that. I was good and I actually did the dungeon crawling before the stream, which was nice. I didn't do all of it, but I at least did some of it. Like I didn't do my my Echoes of War for the week. But I feel like I currently own like at least 40 something of all of them. So I really don't feel like I need to do this, but I just do it out of habit. Yeah, nope, 50s. 51 is the lowest amount that I have, so I guess I'll be doing him this week. But yeah, so... Oh, very exciting thing to show you all. Very excited. So, 42 out of 42, 100%, 13 out of 13, fully completed Pathstrider. And... if I can ever remember which button of these to click. The last Swarm Disaster achievement. That's not like a hidden one. Planner Disruption level 20 or higher when completing Swarm Simulated Universe Swarm Disaster. That was the last one that I needed before I would be fully done with Swarm Disaster. So after, literally we're just having the anniversary event, so I have been doing that for 2 years now. Where I've like pretty much only been focusing on doing Swarm Disaster, and I have finally have it fully done. I can now move on to Golden Gear. We're not even to like the most recent one, which is the unknowable domain. Like I've finally finished this one and I can start the mid-tier one. What does this even look like? Okay, so Golden Gear is 10 out of 28. Oh my god, it's literally been so long since I've played this. I will literally have to like get reacquainted with it. Okay, so it has its own level up system. And then... okay, so there are dice to collect. You can customize your dice. Levels. Okay. Yeah, no, I imagine this will take me just as long, but I'm finally done with Swarm Disaster. You guys do not know how much I am so, like, how much joy that gives me to finally just be done with that. So there's not really anything else I can show you. I've been doing relic hunting for him per usual, but unfortunately I have not gotten any new relics that have better stats than the ones that I currently have on him. And then really just not anything else. We're just to that point in the game where like my off-stream activities are pretty much just the grind. Alright, so last time on Amphorius, we have found out that Anaxagrius is going to be committing crimes against the gods, which is why this stream is called Hubris, and that the Council of Elders is going to do a coup against Aglaya.
It's still early. Where to now?
Many things are more complicated than they seem.
Oh, I didn't even see that. You caught me. I'm working a part-time gig here. Just a little flame in the fire pit. Looks like it's a perfect job for me, right? But it gets really pretty boring. I spent a lot of time just sitting here doing nothing. There's no opportunity to slack off. Is human life always like this? Signing a devil's contract, exchanging your life for goods, willingly transforming into something like a machine? I knew it. Being a flame is so much more carefree. Whew. Phynon, Castorice, and Anaxagrius. Interesting. Perhaps out of fear that their creation might surpass them, the Titans withheld wisdom from their creatures. Little did they know that such simplicity and charm would forge a nobler and more harmonious spirit in the Dromas than in Titans themselves. Not bad. It has a touch of sophistry. Sophistry? I don't know. Castorice, you pass. Wait, Castorice, how did you do that? Maybe it's because I've read too many random books. And you, Phynon, you handed me a blank sheet. What score do you think that deserves? I can't agree with your premise that Dromas surpass Titans, and the blank sheet is my stance. Expressing a stance through silence, that's something I've learned from the Dromas. Well, good point. You do have some solid skills. As your teacher, I'd love you to agree with me after sufficient study, but if you disagree, you better back it up with enough knowledge and reasoning. In other words, if you write an essay critiquing the ideas that Dromas surpass Titans, I'd be willing to give you a passing score, but a blank sheet only gets a blank grade. Huh? Does this mean I'm going to graduate late? That's up to you, not me. It's all because the professor's so obsessed with Dromas. What in the world? Interesting. Oh yeah, the other thing that we found out that I forgot about is the fact that apparently the Titans have gone through many cycles of their Titanhood, where new flame chasers take on, or this seems to be the cycle, is that people will take on the Titans' abilities, and then the corruption slowly erases away their memories of being human, and then again they'll get corrupted over time, and then new people will then become the new Titans. And this seems to be a cycle that has gone on for quite a bit of time. Make known mysterious justice. And so potentially because of that... Oh, this guy. Might be why Orynyx was like, do not like take on this flame chase journey, it's only suffering, is because potentially Orynyx remembers being human. And so And so they need to stop doing the flame chase journey to be able to not continue the cycle of suffering kind of deal. So supposedly, potentially, probably Amphorius has been like collapsing in on itself for years, and so the Titans are like a bandage or
maybe
just a bit of tape stopping the floodgates, like holding the gates closed to stop Amphorius from being destroyed. But
watch over you.
Obviously, it's only temporary, and so probably the time in between the Titans taking on new people, and then the next ones having to take over the Titans is getting like shorter and shorter each round because the corruption's becoming too great.
Poetentate, farewell.
Here, there's thunder.
It's still early. Where to now? Is that all?
His divine body is not far from here.
By Catholy into Lenten above, as the Theoros I have observed.
Aglaya, what happened here?
I know about the poisonous fangs of that king snake through the golden threads. In the past, I would be confident about keeping her in check, but I admit I am now unable to do so.
What do you mean?
It is no longer about eloquence or arguments. I have been a demigod for far too long that I hardly have any humanity left. Before I realized it, I have become no different from these hypocrites. No longer capable of relating to the people. This has come a lot sooner than I expected. But perhaps it is time. I need you to step up, Finan, in order for me to retreat behind the scenes.
Yes, this is my duty, but...
It is far easier for the Council of Elders to fool many than just fool one person. Their so-called more support is no more than a ruse to distribute power using words instead of lances. There is no glory in winning this debate. But that makes having respect for humans so much more priceless. Finan, you are a Chrysos heir without flaw, capable of relating deeply with humans.
I appreciate what you've taught me, Aglaya. I hope we'll live up to your expectations and win this debate.
I really feel like they are putting a lot on Finan because they keep like, oh, I trust the deliverer. I trust you're a flawless Chrysos heir. You're a Chrysos heir with no faults. Like they keep putting all these things on him. I feel like Finan's gonna crack.
Oh, you've done well, Lord Calictus. Let me take over and personally close this debate for today. Dearest counselors, let it be known that I sorely miss the blissful times portrayed in lyrical poems. Back then, Amphorius was home to nearly 1,000 cities, each with their own local faith, while gods walked the earth and shared close bonds with humans. Yet, in the present, people from all over are forced to leave their homeland to seek refuge in the holy city, where they hope to rest under Catholy's protection. all of us have long been in the same boat with no way out of this plight. We didn't have a choice in the past, but now the Council of Elders brings to the table a new possibility. All I have left is one question for you. Would you rather strive toward the unheard of Era Nova, or return to the prosperous Era Chrysia of our past? Make your choice. Now, which of the two would lead mortals to an ideal future?
Era Nova is a path of salvation the gods promise. We should not have doubts in the flame chase journey.
We all know that Era Chrysia is a thing of the past, Lady Kindness. Please, enlighten me. How does the Council of Elders plan to turn back time?
Let the three Titans of Calamity be born, and Era Chrysia is nevermore. But bring demise to those Titans, and Era Chrysia will descend upon us again. Know that the Council of Elders is never one to make empty promises. Look at who we have on our side. Anaxagoras, one of the Grove's 7 sages, and Castorice, Idonia's goddess of death. With the help of these two heroes, I can promise all of you that Era Chrysia will exist once more.
Again, you're just making promises with no evidence or explanation on how that's gonna happen. No plan of action.
Aren't they Chrysos heirs? They're supporting the Council of Elders instead?
It's clear from the start that these heroes do not get along well in their group. All the more proof that Aglaya is unfit to speak on behalf of every Chrysos heir. I am in favor of Era Chrysia.
Era Chrysia! Era Chrysia!
There is, like, even with any society, yes, you can look back and be like, oh, this time period was the golden age. Like, can't we just go back to, like, when the golden age was happening, XYZ? But, like, anytime there's a so-called golden age, it also had lots of issues at the same time. It's just people nitpick what they want to look at in history, and it is not possible for people to go back to a golden age, because anytime that there is, like, supposedly a golden age, it is born of circumstance and luck. It is never orchestrated. I do not think there is a single golden age in history that was done on purpose. You know what I mean? And not just like, oh, these events lined up and they all happened subsequently, which resulted in a golden era. People know how to orchestrate a golden era, like putting in like social, like different like policies and whatnot that could result in one, but it would take many years to do so. But you cannot go backwards to a golden era and perfectly remake a past time period, no matter how much nostalgia you have. Like, it's just not possible.
Castorice? Why are you standing over there?
Oh,
You
fight on.
finally arrived, Naxa. So have you, Cass.
Don't worry, Aglaya. Well, I know that you have many queries. Could you continue to converse like how the citizens normally do? Tell me, dear citizen, if we successfully retrieve and return Thanatos' core flame without anyone passing the Death Titan's trial, what would happen next?
The answer is simple. We will have a chance to rid the world of death and bring Amphorius back to an era when all beings live forever. We'll usher in a new future that will be entirely different from the flame chase journey.
Aren't there... Isn't this, like, blatantly wrong? Because there are Chrysos heirs that are dead. Like, that took on the core flame and are dead, like the ocean one. Like, the ocean still exists. Isn't this, like, blatantly false?
He's one of the seven sages.
The members of the Council of Elders are discussing fervently.
Your proposal is much too idealistic. As long as the Black Tide still exists, how can we go back to the old days?
Remember what I previously said? Kefali's core flame is guarded by the secret power of the Council of Elders. Plus, Fagusa's water curtain will be able to block out any external perceptions. Tell me, dear citizens, have any of you ever seen even a glimpse of the threat that this person is talking about anywhere within the walls of this majestic holy city?
No, because, Aglaya has been keeping it secret from them the entire time. Isn't this just survivorship by...
If we eliminate death, then there's no need for us to fear that flame reaver, right?
Sometimes being alive is the worst possible outcome.
Citizens, let's loudly sing the blessed hymn. Oh, beautiful old world, where are you now? Oh, legendary Eracrysia, return to the mortal realm.
After the destruction of the 3 Titans of Calamity, the flame chase journey will have to end.
The members of the Council of Elders are cheering in excitement.
This is bad. The masses are now totally riled up.
Anaxa, pray tell. Everything that you've mentioned hinges on the premise that we can find Thanatos' existence, right?
Thank you, Lady Aglaya, for still caring about this city. However, dear citizens, we are truly fortunate and blessed. For Castorice, Idonia's goddess of death, will surely find Thanatos under my guidance.
What?
With that, I solemnly promise that the core flame Lady Castorice brings back will be personally managed by the Council of Elders. Thereafter, if we are able to garner the support of all of you at the Citizens' Assembly, we shall spare no effort in ensuring that the Eracrysia will return to our world once again.
Oh yes, we're gonna find this like super powerful core flame, and then we, the Council of Elders, will take care of it. Yes. Yes, we are going to manage it so good for you. Yes, we're just going to make sure. That's so fine. Yeah, nope, that is... Oh boy. See, literally, they're repeating. It's all about cycles, because they're repeating the same thing. Because Mighty's people, the Cremoans, were like, oh, if we just become, like, Strife's holder, then once we do, we'll all be able to go back to Castrum Crimnos. And then the era of the Cronoans that were, like, the golden era of Cronoans will be back. And it's like... It's literally the same thing all over again. They're like and like Mighty was able to have his people step forward, but these people just want to control the power, and so they're like, okay, if we can get a core flame that we have power on, especially one that controls death, and so like and so essentially they'll be able to control who dies. We'll just, we'll never have to fear losing our power, essentially. The members of the Council of Elders are cheering in excitement.
With the balance shattered, the result is clear. By Kefali and Talent and above, as of the Theoros, I have observed. Akama has chosen her destiny. The issue up for discussion at this Citizens' Assembly shall be modified to the suspension of the Flame Chase journey. This resolution shall be put up on the Wall of Heroes, such that all citizens are aware of the city's way forward.
Yeah, but even if you say that, that really doesn't stop, like, the, like, that doesn't stop the people from, like, the people on the Flame Chase continuing to hunt the core flames and the Titans. It just stops them from having the financial backing and the political backing that they currently have in Akuma. The members of the Council of Elders are cheering in excitement.
Aglaya, dear Aglaya, what has caused your heart to soften? You also don't seem to be as quick-witted as before.
Wag your tongue as much as you like. Since the Flame Chase journey has been preordained by the prophecy, our failure has never been on the cards.
Well then, I guess we'll find out if that's true at the Citizens' Assembly.
Lygus announces the conclusion of the debate and the attendees part ways. Castorice, what's going on? Can I speak to Anaxagrius, or is it only Castorice?
Well, it seems that when I sent you to look for Anaxa, I unintentionally facilitated your partnership with him instead.
My apologies, everyone. I know that you have many questions to ask me. I will answer them to the best of my knowledge.
In that case, please tell us as much as you can.
In actuality, he showed a past that was both long and heavy.
The reason I say this is as I've mentioned earlier. The answer was hidden in my journey unto death.
Anaxa, you were in the Netherrealm?
Yes, I am but a living dead man now. But that's not important. What truly matters is, I overheard a conversation between heroes.
Have you heard of this tale before? A tale about the ocean god's treasured pearl, our hometown. It was a seaside town which enjoyed the ocean breeze and glorious, peaceful times, thanks to the wisdom of its ruling queen. Until one day, an evil dragon descended upon the town. Its wings were large enough to blot out the sun, while its claws were sharp enough to rip the waves apart. It barged into the tall tower and devoured the queen's beloved daughter. It even settled itself in her bedroom, like a tyrant king. The queen assembled 300 warriors who managed to subdue the evil dragon by chaining it up. However, when the queen slit open the dragon's belly, she realized that the princess had long since been digested, and all that was left of her was a pile of bones. It was then that a devious, smooth-talking scholar arrived at the palace and suggested that the princess could be revived through the use of dragon bone and dragon blood. That liar called this process the secret art of alchemy. The princess was reborn! The queen was overjoyed, blissfully unaware that the evil dragon's soul still lurked within the princess's body. As revenge, the evil dragon swallowed the poor queen, the glib liar, the courageous warriors, and all of the town's innocent civilians in a single gulp. Worse still, the souls of the deceased were refused entry to the Netherrealm because they were filled with regret. Forced to roam the mortal realm, these resentful souls ultimately converged into a river of souls that would not retreat for a long time. The terrifying death had consumed all. Thereafter, our hometown fell into ruin as well.
Until?
Until? Actually, I don't know what happened next either.
Oh, my... It seems that you still like to whet people's appetites even after all this time, Pelixia. So, according to your story, this is how I used to look? It's practically a mirror image. And yet, what exactly is this?
A miracle that I created with alchemy. As for what it is and how I was able to accomplish it, I'll keep the answers to myself for now.
Oh, my goodness. Is this cliffhanger really necessary?
Quiet, Titan. Continue to enjoy this splendid play, and the truth will naturally reveal itself.
Dragon, huh? I've heard this legend before.
In that case, what do you think of it?
I think that this so-called alchemy was a tenuous analogy added to the story by future generations. After all, you've never heard of a tradition of alchemy in your hometown before, have you?
Indeed. Before I left home to pursue my education, I never even knew that anybody was looking into this area of study.
Oh, interesting. She looks exactly like Castorice.
Therefore, we can just treat this tale as a fable told to young children.
A fable, you say? If so, what moral is it trying to impart to the kids?
I guess it might be the concept of equivalent exchange.
Oh? I thought the moral might be closer to something like honor the dead. What? At a loss for words?
I feel, well, I guess I could see both, because like if the queen had not like wanted to resurrect her, like her child, and honored the dead, she would not have brought down calamity. Actually, had honored the dead and not brought their... Hey, isn't that like... Stay with me here. Isn't that kind of like what's happening with our person, with the Trailblazer? The Trailblazer is like dead, and then Castorice is gonna be the queen that goes back and like, you know, brings them back to life at the promise of an alchemist, which is Anaxagrius. Kind of deal. I don't know. Anyway, that's a thought. Might be a very obvious thought. And then the equivalent exchange is like, oh, you got her back, but in result, you killed everyone else, kind of deal.
No, I merely realized that we're both thinking of the same principle. If life is priceless, then there is hardly anything else in this world that is of equal weight to it, right?
Indeed. As expected of the wisest scholar in the land.
You flatter me. Why don't I ask you a question as well, as a form of equivalent exchange?
Of course. What is your question?
If I imparted my knowledge of the art of alchemy to you, would you use it to resurrect someone you loved?
What? What kind of strange question is this? I got it. You're just trying to get me to tell you whether I like anyone, right?
Let's just leave it at that. That was rude of me.
Yes, I would.
Oh?
Death is inevitable. In the days to come, I'm certain that someone whom I cherish deeply will leave me for good. If such a mighty power really existed, I think after all, you, me, and the rest will all have to face that fateful moment eventually. My time is finally here. However, perhaps because of my firm belief in the immeasurable value of life, I am unable to complete the trial.
You shall wither, and through that, the dead will sprout again from the remains, and be reborn with the dead flame. It is a pity that fate is such a cruel mistress.
Is there no other way of interpreting those words?
I'm afraid that the meaning is clear. Between my sister and me, one must pay the price. Our trial can only be completed when the one chosen sacrifices her life. I'm afraid that the prophecy might even have selected a pair of twins for this exact purpose.
Yep, and Castorice looks exactly like her. So if she doesn't complete the trial, maybe Castorice is effectively immortal, which is like why they had to have her lose her memories so that she wouldn't know that she's from the previous generation.
Fortune makes fools of us all.
Oh yeah, because they almost completed the Flame Chase journey. If you look at the note, the only one they're missing is Thanatos.
My sister is prepared to sacrifice herself. And yet, I can't do the same. How absurd. My time is almost up, but I'm still afraid to welcome death. What should we do? If I'm ultimately not able to make up my mind...
Since Chaos is willing to guide all of us and leave this trial to the end, there is still plenty of time for you to ponder.
That's right. Don't allow the fog of an uncertain future to cloud your mind.
Trial, prophecy, the topics that they're discussing seem familiar. But these three people must not have left their names in the epics. Otherwise, I would have some recollection of this.
Amphorius' history before the Titans were born was complete chaos. Is that not strange by itself? I have long held 3 hypotheses about this. However, let's continue watching for now.
Calypso, Polixia, and this warrior. I seem to have met him somewhere before.
Regarding this matter...
Wait, I've forgotten. It might have been stated. Did she lose her memories of Nias? Because we've met Nias, so it's kind of weird that she doesn't, like, notice who that is. Did we forget about Nias?
Nias, are you confident that you'll complete your trial?
Of course. Though, I am worried about what will happen once I've emerged victorious.
Looks like you have made up your mind.
Yes, this is the safest course of action.
Completely separating courage, honor, tenacity, sacrifice, and reason. You really know how to make things difficult.
Please, young lady, witness my fall and demise. Lady Calypso, you shall host the soul-rending ceremony.
I do not understand. Why would you dare to sacrifice yourself for a future that you won't get to witness?
Because this is our destiny. The power that resides within me is so intense that I will one day be engulfed by it. Furthermore, a valorous death before glorious return has always been the path I chose to walk. A journey I began long ago.
If your sister or Cowus were in my position, I believe they would make the same choice as well.
I'm not that brave. I don't know how I'm supposed to face such a serious affair.
Despite being Death's chosen one, it seems you still don't know how to face it. Let's chat, young lady. Perhaps I shouldn't end my journey so hastily. Since there's still time, I'm not worried about letting fate wait a little longer.
Of course. This warrior is Lord Nias. As the embodiment of Nikador's divinity, he entrusted his life to us and allowed humankind to end his madness. That means that what I'm currently seeing before my eyes is, in fact...
Looks like one hypothesis of mine has already been proven true. These heroes are the true forms of the Titans. If so, the chosen one of death that he speaks of is actually...
Wait, I skipped over it because I'd read it already. Alright, looks like the hypothesis has been proven true. These heroes are the true forms of the Titans before they attain their divinity.
Polixia? Is the previous form of Thanatos? But her appearance...
If this is true, as long as we can find out where she went, we'll naturally be able to figure out the location of the Death Titan.
But before that, we first need to witness what ultimately happened to Lord Nias. Nikador's courage is a testament that they have never once retreated from a battle.
I've heard that these words are still engraved in Castrum Kremnos even today. It didn't occur to me that they were actually part of an alchemical formula. Sealed within this statue is undoubtedly his sacrifice.
They use their own body as our city walls, keeping out and protecting us from the pervasive spread of madness. They are acutely aware that if the end times were to arrive, there would be nothing left in this world to conquer. Lord Nias's honor is sealed here.
Incredible. The honor in this child's soul is so light. I believe that his tenacity is sealed within this statue.
Before we fought Nikador, we also released it from the stone statue.
Honor, courage, tenacity, sacrifice.
And finally, the only thing that remains is reason.
Cheer up, young lady. There is no need to shed tears over a glorious death.
All farewells in this world are sorrowful, Lord Nias.
No, young lady. As a warrior, I have witnessed too many bitter deaths. But now, all I feel is peace. I did not know until this moment that mortals could live their lives in such a way.
Although only a sliver of your soul remains, you remain so optimistic. Or maybe the truth is that you aren't able to feel sorrow anymore.
To be honest, I don't know either. But I am certain of one thing. This is not an acceptance of death nor apathy toward it. It's not even a feeling of despair. I am just enjoying what remains of my life to the fullest.
Enjoying?
Indeed. Along this journey that we've taken together, not only have I changed the world, I myself have also changed in the process. And now I have reached the journey's end. When I look back and see the grand epic that I've personally written, how could I not revel in that fact?
But when you depart the mortal realm, won't all of your accomplishments be reduced to nothing? Separation and death are two sides of the same coin. Reconciling this doesn't come easily for a mortal.
Finally, let me recount to you a story of mine, young lady. The first time I returned from the battlefield, I felt extremely hollow. The calamity had devoured everybody on the battlefield but me. When I returned to the city alone, the citizens held a banquet for me that was far from pleasant. I felt as though I was still on the battlefield, and the person who had returned was nothing but an empty shell. It was late into the night by the time the banquet ended. My head still reeling, I returned alone to the barracks. On the way back, I encountered someone. It was a crazed scholar looking at the night sky and muttering to himself by the side of the road. Although I tripped over him and fell, I wasn't angry in the slightest. And maybe because I saw myself in him, I inexplicably asked him a question. Do you think that it'd be better if we just died on the roadside like a couple of stray dogs? To my surprise, he shrugged his shoulders and sighed.
How does someone who is currently experiencing death, dying and living, afford the same amount of bliss? Now please go away and don't block my starlight.
Are you trying to say that there is no difference between living and dying? For they are both journeys that lead toward death?
That's exactly what life is, and death is, but a scale to measure how valuable the journey was. Journeys and epics are only glorious and magnificent because all things eventually fade to dust. Therefore, young lady, don't detest your fate. Instead, willingly and respectfully embrace it.
The embodiment of strife telling me about the majesty of the world.
Indeed. I believe that when the fated moment eventually arrives, you will be able to understand my words. It is time for me to knock on death's door. I will set up a long table at the end of the road and humbly await your arrival. When that moment finally comes, let us drink and be merry then.
I knew this day would eventually come.
Are the both of you ready?
Mm-hmm. Polixia, I'm here.
Okay, so it is Castorice.
What? This...
Is Castorice similar to us, or is it something to do with being part of the Death Titan?
This is quite interesting indeed.
Is this... Polixia's sister? Is it... me? Now, it's time for us to fulfill our promises. Are you afraid? What are you afraid of?
That I won't be able to do it.
You shall wither, and through that, the dead will sprout again from the remains, and be reborn with the dead flame. As foretold in the prophecy, and according to our vows, once it all ends, we must face our fated moment head-on.
Even if it was prophesized, do we have no say in the matter? It's so unfair. Why are we the only ones who are forced into mutual destruction? Let me do it, sister. Let me be death's sacrifice. I was never long for this world anyway. But you're different. I was the one who wasted your life after all.
You're wrong, Polixia. I don't think that my life was wasted. Just the opposite. When I finally arrived at this destination and looked back at the journey I took, I discovered that flowers had long since bloomed along the path I walked. It was you who sowed the seeds for this sea of flowers. One that is more beautiful than the promised land at the end of the world. Besides, I have lived a fulfilling life. Even though I was fated for sacrifice, none of the things that I've experienced will dissipate. Instead, they'll forever live on as memories inside your head. Will they not?
How could my memories of you ever compare to the actual you?
Well then, tell me, what exactly are we?
I don't know.
I don't know either. But regardless of what the answer is, regardless of how we're shaped by others, or even by this world, ever since we were born, the fact that we existed was predestined, and nothing could erase it. This is why I will always, always be by your side. We're twins, after all. All right, my dear Polixia. It's time to extract my heart and light the flame of death. After that, use it to plant the first bud in the prophesied new world.
If I imparted my knowledge of the art of alchemy to you, would you use it to resurrect someone you loved?
Death is inevitable. In the days to come, I am certain that someone whom I cherish deeply will leave me for good. If such a mighty power really existed, I think I would use it without hesitation. Even now, my answer remains the same. This is why, sister, I promise you, in the prophesied new world, I shall plant the first bud on your behalf. Go now. Return to the ocean god's treasured pearl. Our hometown, I shall open wide the entrance to the Netherrealm and grant you a second life. The living beings on this earth shall respond to my call and lead you to the sacred daylight. Remember, do not look back on the land of the dead, and do not stop moving. In the new world promised by the prophecy, march toward your new life. Ask for the price of our equivalent exchange. Let me be the one to pay it.
Everybody, we've come to the end. Unfortunately, I am not compatible with the Supreme Being, so I was unable to completely fuse their soul into my own body. However, being able to glean all this from them is exciting enough. I'm certain of this now. Before the Titans that we are well acquainted with were born, a group of heroes roamed the land. These heroes followed a prophecy and took possession of divine authorities one by one, until they eventually became the pantheon of the new world. Just like the flame chase journey of today, Amphorius's history is cyclical in nature.
What a startling revelation. This means means that the demigods, who bear the core flames, will also become the new titans at the world's end, thereby shaping a new world?
I believe that this is the truth behind the Era Nova, as mentioned in the prophecy.
This is utterly unbelievable. Besides, those twins in the past, even if they really are Thanatos, their whereabouts are still unknown even today.
Are their whereabouts truly unknown? Didn't Polixia mention that seaside town? The birthplace of alchemy in the tale of the dragon. In our world, there exists a city which perfectly matches that description. Styxia.
The river Styx from Greek mythology.
But the people there worship
River of the
Medusa
Dead.
and bear no relation to Thanatos. I have also never been to that place, as in the time of Idonia, it had long turned into underwater ruins.
Take this.
This is...
The new Sporist masterpiece. The Philosopher's Stone. It was made by transmuting all of the sages' wisdom into a single entity, with their flesh and blood as its foundation. Remember? I've mentioned before that the art of alchemy is all about conversion, tempering, and ascension. This process also applies to the pursuit of truth. Regardless of how unbelievable this sounds, the truths of the world have been refined from the impurities. Think about the story of the dragon. This stone will lead you to your real hometown, allowing you to reform the door to the Netherrealm and discover Thanatos' fate.
You still look as confident in your victory as ever. But what if your conjecture is wrong?
Simple. I shall merely admit to the entire world that my experiment was a failure. However, my line of thinking will not fail, because I have already planted the seeds of doubt into the hearts of the masses. Actions speak louder than words, Castorice. With the assembly about to begin, don't forget the promise you've made.
I've already searched for so long. I'm willing to try one more time. While we converse, his life is also slowly slipping away, but before I leave, I have another question. What exactly did we witness just now?
That was the world imprinted in Kefali's soul. If we are to prove its existence, you must take the final step. Go. Do not disappoint me.
I understand.
Hey, child of humanity.
Don't get antsy. I still remember the question you posed to me. As a scholar, I do not wish to offer up ambiguous conclusions. Let's discuss this topic again when she manages to find the evidence.
I merely wanted to ask, was that stone transmuted from your heart? If so, rebirth is no longer an option for you.
Why not? When I was a child, I lost someone dear to me. When I was a teenager, I lost my faith. A while back, although you saved my life, I also lost my soul in the process. Now I'm merely forsaking my body. What's the big deal?
Why are you always finding ways to die? Isn't it good to be alive?
This is but a necessary sacrifice on my path to transform into the purest of them all.
Can someone who's dead even claim to be the purest of them all? Furthermore, if your hypothesis is proven correct, does it not just confirm that the myths are true, and thereby invalidate all your theories?
No, it's just the opposite. If my hypothesis is correct, it means that I can actually ascend to godhood and reshape this absurd world that you all have created.
Interesting.
That's a lot to take in at once.
Lady Aglaya, please, let me explain.
Go on.
You know that the core flame of death has always been the greatest unknown regarding the Era Nova, which is why both you and Kindness desire to gain the power to control that core flame in the approaching Citizens' Assembly. Professor Anexa has come to a consensus with Kindness. They want to suspend the trial once Thanatos' core flame is reclaimed, hoping thus to eradicate death from this world. If they're successful, then the flame chase journey will cease, and Akama can enjoy everlasting peace. But I know this runs counter to your wishes. So long as we do not usher in Era Nova, the Black Tide will never be eradicated. Even with Lord Mighty on the front line, and the Black Tide not posing an immediate risk, the danger nevertheless remains. Honestly, it's difficult for me to assess the pros and cons in this decision. But someone must bring the core flame before we can begin negotiations over it. The Titan could be very near. I cannot let this chance slip by. Besides, someone has to make this trip to bring back Mr. Soul.
Well said. You already had every reason to seek an audience with Thanatos. It's that great performer who has weaponized your wishes and placed us in this difficult situation. A world without death. Do you desire that too?
If fate dictates that my path must oppose yours, I will do all I can to resist it and protect what I aspire to achieve. Lord Mighty showed me that without taking the first step, all talk of what follows is moot.
I have always hoped to hear you speak your mind, Cass. And I am glad to have heard your true thoughts. Styxia. I visited that place in the past. Though it is now an island surrounded by the river of Soul's torrents, it's not hard to see its former splendor. Go. I will not stand in your way. As for you, you are someone who has cheated death. I believe you have more than enough reason to make the trip with Castorice and meet the god of death himself. Castorice, I too look forward to your journey. I wonder what kinds of new interpretations your completed story will bring to the Flame Chase journey.
Thank you, Lady Aglaya.
I hate to put a damper on this heartwarming moment, but if Styxia is now an island surrounded by the river of Soul's torrents, then how do we find a way in?
The answer is quite simple. In the Mids, Zagreus once made the domain of the dead their treasure vault. That is to say, they could enter and leave the Netherrealm as they pleased. And if they could do that, then it follows that the demigod who inherited their divinity must be capable of the same. I'll see you at Marmorial Palace at Action Hour tomorrow. Cypher shall be your guide to finding that ancient city.
The tumultuous day finally comes to an end. Everyone disperses, each lost in their own thoughts. I didn't get to read that, but it said Don Hung something.
Hey, friend! Is the debate finally over? Did you win? What a glorious defeat. You sure know how to look on the bright side. debate. I borrowed a mountain of books from Cass to see if I could find a way to solve your problem. Let's see. I still have only 32 books to go. Really? Oh, that's fantastic news. I knew it. Hard work always pays off. Especially if you're as diligent as Ma'am. I feel like a huge burden has finally been lifted off my shoulders. Why are my eyelids so heavy all of a sudden? You're right. Then I'll go back to...
As with their custom, Mem, who with astonishing dexterity slipped back into their secret little hideaway. Good night, Mem. Good night, Akuma. It is nighttime right now, is it? Isn't it? Later, somewhere in Akuma.
Cass? What a surprise.
Lady Treby.
Is something troubling you?
I just wanted to speak to Lady Trian for a bit before I set off. No matter how breathtakingly beautiful Styxia once was, the place is now the domain of the departed. There is no telling what we'll encounter there. I don't want to have any regrets.
Has anyone told you that your eyes are sparkling today?
Is that a figure of speech?
In the past, when you did smile once in a while, all of us could see that your heart remained troubled, even as you smiled.
Lady Treby, you know perfectly well that see you tomorrow is nothing but a white lie.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
I hope your toughness is not a mask.
Cass, you hardly ever talked of your past. None of us knows what you went through, apart from Maggie. But we know it must have been filled with pain and hardships, as it is the fate every Chrysos heir is destined to live out. We are just happy for you that the core flame you're meant to inherit has finally surfaced.
Isn't it a little too soon to say that?
But you already know where tomorrow is, don't you? There's no need to rely on anyone else. Just give it your all and leave no regrets. We have always believed that your embrace is just as warm as everyone else's, because we embrace others to comfort them. And Cass, you're the kindest Chrysos heir we know.
Thank you, Lady. This feeling, it's hard to put into words. I suddenly found myself with so many wishes. So much I want to accomplish before setting off.
Then go do it, Cass. Trian was actually working on a surprise gift for you. It's a pity she didn't get to finish it. But now Trinan and I are working on it, and we'll make sure to give it to you. So,
Let's meet back here when you return from Styxia. Safe travels. See you tomorrow!
At the same time, I can't sleep. Door knocks. Huh? Who could it be? See who's knocking at the door.
It's me.
It's Castorice, apparently.
I hope I didn't wake you. I'm glad to see you're as full of... I'm here because of private matters, actually. If it isn't too much to ask, I'd really like it if you could come along with me to retrieve something. Aren't you going to ask me what it is? It isn't a long way from here. Shall we?
I'd love to go in and take a look. Have you heard? Seems like all the rooms are...
They can dispel the black eye.
The streets are packed.
I want to vote! Tell me how I can vote!
Take your ceramic shard engraved with the Kefali rune, select the Council of Elders in your heart, and pray silently until the shard registers your choice. Then toss it into the Dolium.
The Council of Elders? More like the Council of Buffoons? The Black Tide took my hometown long ago! Who are they kidding with bringing back Eracrycia? It's all a sham to create their own Eracrycia in Akama!
The Titans are just. So long as we do not overstep our bounds again, we will not incur divine wrath.
Oh, please. The time when these deranged Titans should have vacated their spot to the demigods is long overdue. You'll see soon enough, you old fogey.
And I pray that Talanton smacks some sense into you with their scales. We shall see how this turns out.
That was quite a spectacle. I suppose peaceful is technically correct if no actual violence happened. To this day, I still find it almost unreal that Akama is the only place illuminated by light amidst the crumbling ruins of Amphorius. And its people are even holding votes to reconcile differing opinions. This peaceful sight is making me forget that this is the end times. Before coming here, I had lived for many years in Idonia, a city of rime and frost. The people there were devotees of Thanatos, and were well known for their unique burial rites and traditions. Traditions that I played a major role in. Yes. You now know me as the Mortician of Akama, but back in those days, I was Idonia's Maiden of War. I was trudging across the frosty plains on my own when the Idonians found me. They saw the curse in me as a blessing from Thanatos, and believed that my hands could correct the Eracrycia's mistake and lead them to meet the great god of death. They provided me shelter, but in return, I was expected to grant merciful deaths to war captives, prisoners bound for execution, and heroes alike. Yes, no matter how kind or cruel the means, nothing can change the essence of death. Taking away someone's life is never worthy of religious worship. I can't do it. Their voices, they pierce my ears. The pleading, the thanks.
was once as lost as you are now. But you must respect those walking towards death. Just like how you should respect yourself as the Holy Maiden granting humans glory and liberation.
What you're asking me to do is no better than the task of an executioner. And yet you want me to respect myself. No matter the titles, I am still taking away human lives.
This won't be the first time that Edonia's fanatical nether warriors have faced death. On the contrary, recruits new to the battlefield often run away from their first fight. Death is the mightiest and gravest power in this world. The fact that you can wield it means you are deserving of respect.
That's such a twisted reason.
Then let me tell you a story. In Idonia, the great swords commonly used by executioners are called Draconian, in memory of Drakon, an elderly executioner. The sword has 3 air holes along its body. If the sword is swung down swiftly and accurately, the holes would make no sound, and the executed would also depart this world quickly and painlessly. But should the executioner have any hesitation, the holes would produce a piercing whistle. On that cue, the screams of the executed are sure to follow. Every executioner after Drakon is to hone their sword skills every day in preparation of future executions. Every swing of their blade must be more resolute than the last, for failing to do so will bring pain. Pain for the dying, as well as pain for themselves.
No. I can never get used to this.
You misunderstand, child. I am not telling you to get used to it. I'm asking you to consider the source of the dead's suffering, and use that knowledge to fortify your future touches with more and more determination. Go, walk with the dead, and love them as you love life. Then you'll no longer hear those noises.
Please, don't kill me. I don't want to die.
Well, assuming the red is what actually happens.
No!
You gently touch the prisoner's forehead with your finger. His face is pale, his eyes flicker with fear, and his body trembles uncontrollably. It is because of fear, anger, and hatred, or is your so-called merciful touch of death simply a lie? The dark purple motels spread like petals. Is it supposed to be moats? Across the death row inmate's face, and seemed to be submerged by spring water flooding his body. His trembling ceased, and the cries that had once begged for mercy slowly turned into a sigh-like whimper as he murmurs to himself. Quickly, everything falls into a dead silence, turning to a pitch-black dew that scatters with the wind. You hear your own heartbeat drown out the sound of heavy breathing.
May you gain some insights through his sacrifice.
Is this all?
No. Come with me. This is just the beginning of your life as the Maiden of War.
You executioner!
Executioner.
Holy maiden. Go.
Thank you.
Monster.
Do it then, Executioner. I curse you to live in eternal pain.
Please, grant me release. When will this ever end?
Murder, monster. Thank you for why? Interesting.
Come. Fulfill your duty.
What are you trying to do with me?
I have aged. The time has come for me to heed the summons of Thanatos and journey to their domain. The final resting place of every Idonian.
You're not that old yet. You still have many, many years ahead of you.
No. I'm already dead. For I have come to fear my declining health and impending death. Castorice, will you give me one last chance to charge towards fear and prove that I am no coward?
I can't take this anymore!
Child, it was I who brought you here from the frosty plains and set your farcical fate in motion. It was also I, Chief Executioner of Idonia, who forced the heavy duty of executing others onto you. I've always known that you have doubts and even anger about my faith and about me.
I never had a choice.
Indeed. We essentially abducted you. Yet you can end any sinful life with just a touch of your fingers. Shouldn't it be easy for you to escape from here?
I'll never do that. It doesn't matter how lightly the Idonians take death, or how readily they accept it. I simply can't do it.
I knew I was right about you.
What do you mean?
I've taught you and cared for you as my own daughter all this time because of this blessing that's been with you since your birth. I know no one else in the world would understand the weight of life and death more than you do. In the eyes of an Idonian, death is the end of all life. A destination we will all eventually reach. Humans should not resist it, but learn how to face it. You can only live your life to the fullest after understanding this principle. And when you do, even if you eventually leave Idonia's protection, even if you must carry the curse forever, you can live with your head held high, like everyone else.
No! How can I?
Come now. It's time. I've already taught you all that I know. Show me that you are a fitting holy maiden. Or at least, that you possess the resolve to become one. Come now. It's time. I've already taught you all that I know. Show me that you are a fitting holy maiden. Or at least, that you possess the resolve to become one.
I'll overcome the thorns!
Embrace a new life.
Serenity is before me!
Life is not so fragile. Darkness with me. May death protect us! This was the last time I followed her command. I gently touched the elderly woman before me. The executioner, who had seen too much death, died the same way as everyone else. I gasped for air, a wistful look in her eyes, and a barely perceptible tremor in her fingertips. Elder Amonette, the person who tried to teach me about death, ultimately vanished like dew in the morning mist. She spent her life embodying the beliefs of the Idonians, and when death finally came, she embraced it exactly as their doctrine had taught. I have nothing but respect for her. I erected a cenotaph in her honor in the marshes outside Idonia's city walls with the others I had laid to rest. Then, I set out once more in search of Thanatos. It was a long, long journey. I heard so many discussions about death along the way. Life finds meaning in death. The world improves because there is an end. It seems the most terrible darkness in this world. Everyone talks about its heavy weight. Some resist it, some worship it, and some even revere it. How did a disappeared titan become the deepest fear of humankind? And why do they haunt my dreams? I continued my travels to seek an answer. Initially, I was running away. Then, I started searching for it. And now, at the end, I just want to know if my touch, if my embrace, can do more than taking things away. Can I make anything? Can I leave anything behind?
I don't want to die! Please, I'm begging you, just let me go! I don't want to die, please! I don't want mercy like this! Just let me go! I need it! I don't...
I hate these icy hands.
Reaper has blessed your hands. Only you can grant them peace. Embrace death. Walk alongside it.
Is that you, Castorice? All of them have gone, heeding death's summon, crossing into their domain. I must go too. I don't fear it, just I have some regrets. Watching people leave this world again and again, it must be lonely for you. You must want to desperately embrace them before they go. I can't. These hands, they're too cold. But Big Sister Castorice, your hands are so warm. Just like anyone else's. So go on. Don't hold back.
Give me a warm hug.
day that Oryx's trial ended, you must have had many questions.
Oh boy. So that, I believe, was Castorice's trailer back in the day, and I guess they're like, we spent too much money on that animation, we are gonna include it in the main story, and I am crying. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh.
I felt just as confused. Why, as someone from beyond the sky, were you so cruelly dragged into Amphorius's fate? I wished I could take action, but no matter how hard I try, I cannot simply interact with the living as ordinary people do, even when we brushed against each other unintentionally in the grove. And it was obvious that nothing had happened, when an almost unattainable hope finally welled up in my heart. When I thought that perhaps my touch would no longer bring sorrow, fate declared to me, it wasn't that the curse of death had finally been lifted, but that your soul no longer belonged to this world. And there was nothing left for my hands to take. Nothing.
Doesn't that mean, though, if we get our soul back, that Castorice won't be able to touch us for the same fear as everybody else? Oh, that hurts.
And did I really think this time would be any different? It's not that I don't understand this reality, just that I'm unwilling to accept it. Having walked such a long road, I am still unable to find the answer to life and death. I am resigned to eternal despair. Anything I wish to hold on to, death will inevitably wrest from my grasp. From that moment on, I lacked the courage to confirm it again. Until Oryx laid bare the cruel truth before us. But now, perhaps I might have one last chance. Long ago, Trinan read a prophecy to me. At the end of the Sea of Flowers, the souls of the living shall warm thy fingertips, and after an embrace, there shall be eternal separation. I found no surprise in it, for her words sounded not like a foretelling, but a perfect reflection of my past. Embraces in this world are born of reunions, yet my touch speaks only of farewells. In that moment, I had no doubt that this destiny would weave itself through the entirety of my life. And yet, things have taken a turn for the better. Now that I can finally have an audience with Thanatos, perhaps I can rewrite the meaning of that fated prophecy. I have no reason not to give it my all, for your sake, and for my own. With that, I won't have any regrets.
Castorice talks to you about the gift she gave to other Chrysos heirs, and before you know it, she arrives at your gift. Sorry if my voice is wobbling. I'm still recovering.
Let's put that aside for the moment. We've arrived. I want to retrieve a small gift I specially prepared for you. I made it myself, like the trinket I gave Lady Trian. I want to leave something for everyone, if possible. The journey to seek an audience with the Death Titan cannot be an easy one. I want to make full use of every moment I have before we depart, so that I don't have any regrets. Then, perhaps you can have a look at it first. You don't have to take it if you don't like it. Look, it's right there. Huh? Where did it go? What's going on? I am not some corrupt grown-up. What's this?
Yeah, I was about to be like, is this how they introduce the one that is the Zagreus incarnation, the cat thief? Also, I like the Persona 5 reference just then.
The coin of Zacharias and a sleigh. So it's her. It's Lady Cypher, the demigod of Zacharias whom Lady Aglaia had spoken of. She's a master thief who's left legendary tales all over Amphorius. So many years have passed, yet she's still announcing herself in such a crass manner. Let's just do as the slate says and look for Lady Cypher.
Alright, dear Princess Homebody. Walking through the busy garden, I discovered the remarkable gifts crafted by Princess Homebody. They are truly splendid, and I am most impressed. I've also taken with your charming presents prepared for fellow crisis heirs. In your right parlor, I observed the beautiful felt dolls and beige and lavender striped tapestry and classic Endonian tripod table. In the left parlor, the jewelry and exquisite art pieces meant as gifts. This time, I have claimed only this modest gift. I fear it would attract tasteless little thieves, so I shall safeguard it for now. Naturally, I have left appropriate payment, a single coin. If the price displeases you, feel free to negotiate its returns. Though, should that happen, I won't be satisfied with merely one coin. Should you wish to find me, visit the Memorial Market. There lies a golden short spear I've left. You know what to do, it shall guide you to me. And before you ask, I won't accept any questions. Please forgive this small intrusion and accept my highest regards. P.S. Who displays biological specimens at home? They're quite unsettling. You might want to store them away when entertaining guests. P.P.S. Despite your considerable investment in Endonian ossuary hanging in your parlor, I regret to inform you it's a fake. The original was craftily switched by those cunning scholars of the Grove of Epiphany. The full story can be found in yet unpublished Memoirs of Sephiria. Sincerely, Kitty Phantom Thief. To retrieve the gift and teach Kitty Phantom Thief a lesson, you head to the market and find short spear she left behind.
Look, it's right there. We must pursue her. Huh? This is a trick she left for us.
Clearly, the Kitty Phantom Thief wants to play a little game with you. 2 short spears, 1 correct, 1 wrong. Don't be fooled, the right spear is engraved with lies. Trust me, Grey Mystery, both spears are engraved with the truth. Well, if they're both true, and that one says that you're lying, that must mean that the left spear is correct. The words on the scroll should be true, so which short spear do you want to repair? The left one.
She's incorrigible. Follow me.
Oh wait, no. If one of them says that... Oh, I might have gotten that wrong, because it's like, oh, if the right spear says that... Well, no, that's like a circle bit, because it's like, oh, we're both engraved with truth, but then if the right one says that the other one, or the left one says the other one's lying... Sorry, I got distracted by something. Then it probably is the other one. I just... whatever. Anyway. We'll see.
This is how it should be. We must pursue her.
Cypher, this drone must truly is her, appears to be quite content. Her gaze filled with 3 parts sincerity, 3 parts approval, 3 parts shrines, and 3 parts haha, grave mystery you've lost if you take this seriously. She seems to be saying, ah, ha, Cypher does not know, so she doesn't know.
Lady Cypher, please come on out.
You're still careless as ever.
Shouldn't you keep such a precious gift near your bosom?
Since you know it's a gift for someone else, please give it back to me. Stop hiding among the people and letting the wind carry your voice.
Now, since I know it's a gift, that just means I need to milk its worth. The children of the wind never stay for long in one place. Unless your offer is tempting enough to steal the wind. What say you?
Name your price. I'll give you however much you want. What's wrong?
No wonder they call you Princess Homebot. Why don't you two come over to my place? It'll make a better venue for proper business discussions. You can find where I live through the winds I've sown.
A piece of cake. I can do that even if I can only sense your soul.
Alright, I'll see you there. By the way, everyone cool with me collecting a deposit before we reach an agreement, right? Now, come this way.
The dew of divine blood in the backpack has been stolen.
She's incorrigible. Follow me.
Dear Princess Homebody and Grey Mystery, you've probably guessed already, I had no intention of showing up at the Pack Beast workshop. This means, of course, I had no plans to return the gift either. There was just a warm-up for our little game of cat and mouse, but surely you've realized that the kitty Phantom Thief never cared about stealing a mere trinket, right? No, what I'm really after is your hearts. Just kidding. I had no interest in your hearts. The Princess Homebody can track my path, and by all means try. I'll be waiting at the end, and rest assured we'll meet face to face this time. P.S. Grey Mystery, where did you get that dew of divine blood? Don't tell me it's a gift from the seamstress. I'll taste it for you. Alright, I need to remember how to get up onto the roof. There's a little doodad that'll teleport me if I remember correctly. I just don't know where that is.
Drink 10 vats of water every day and Fagusa.
Is that all?
I just heard someone who's attempting to get water poisoning, but alright. 7 vats of water. Unless those vats are way smaller than I think they are.
Does it really work?
Here we are.
Over here! Over here! No, not that way! This way! Come on. If I really wanted to hide, you'd never find me. So relax, you two. No need to get your hackles up. I'm not that scary, am I? Meow. Whoa, that upset? Calm down. I'm just putting on a show with the meowing. Some people might have been into that a millennium ago, but it's long since gone out of style. Loosen up, buddy. Shall we get down to business?
Give me the jewelry piece first, or everything's off the table.
The materials are nothing to wow at, but the workmanship is superb, as always. You're still skilled as ever, even after all this time. And you've put a lot of heart into this one.
Mind your own business.
Oh, come now. Don't be so upset. Relax. Relax. Look, isn't the view here just great? You can see what everyone is doing and where they're going, and they won't even know you're here. Now that we've broken the ice, let's get to the point. Everything I've said so far has been a joke. I'm inviting you two here for 3 things. 1, the seamstress found me and wants me to take you to Styxia to look for the Death Titan. 2, the Council of Elders also found me and wants me to make sure the core flame of Thanatos ends up in their hands. Of course. I may keep a low profile, but I'm still a bona fide demigod. And last, but not least, I'm telling you that I'm not interested in doing either of those things. Don't go look for the Death Titan. The end.
Some time ago.
Well, this is some high-quality stuff. And this room is full of it. How much are these worth, Did you get all this through that Aranova gimmick?
Some of it is family fortune, while the rest came from my business as a dressmaster. Don't liken the flame chase work to your shady dealings.
Wow. I should have busted down your door instead of going around like a thief. Well, spill. Why are you giving me so much money?
Payment for doing work. You're worth this much.
Did you forget my stance to all this? I thought I made myself very clear.
You wish to run away. Run away from your responsibilities, from the prophecy, and from your destiny. You shall walk with greed and die over petty change. I understand this prophecy weighs on you immensely. That is why I have never reproached the demigod of trickery for running away. But I need you right now, so don't turn me down.
You know, maybe the gods got your tongue with their golden threads, Aglaya. I'm not hearing any sincerity in your words. Give me a reason why you're bowing your noble head to me.
We lost Trian.
Oh.
The divine power of passages is running out. I need another demigod to escort Castorice and help her fulfill her lifelong wish.
Oh, I get it now. You're sending Castorice to her death. And you want me to die with her.
This is Castorice's own request. I have never seen her so determined.
She brought this up herself? You're not pulling my leg.
She's also made up her mind to leave her confused past behind. As will you, Cypher, when you finally make up your mind.
Don't be so sure. Time is hard on the likes of you and I. But Castorice remains pure as driven snow. She can always turn back before the end, you know? Maybe she'll remember Trian's sacrifice. Maybe she'll remember the countless martyred Chrysos heirs. Maybe she'll remember you, with your one foot in the grave. I ain't as optimistic as you about what she'll want to do. Tell you what. Why don't I take this room of treasures as a security deposit, and we make a bet?
Go on.
I bet she'll change her mind and turn back. Now, if I lose, I'll do what you want me to do. Return this deposit to you, plus giving you another room full of treasures. How does that sound?
You sound like you have all the confidence in the world. In that case, let's make a pact with those conditions. I hope you're prepared to lose it all.
In conclusion, I want to win. So I hope you two can give up on going to Styxia. I'll give all the treasures in that room to you. And you can split it between yourselves, however you want. What do you think? Tempting, right?
I decline. If we don't find the Death Titan, his soul will...
Oh?
I can't go into the details, but we have to go to Styxia.
I really don't get how. Princess, homebuddy. You keep talking about needing to find Thanatos, about getting rid of your curse, and you don't care about anything else. But did you ever live for your own pleasure? Even for just one day?
What are you trying to say?
I'm saying, contrary to your beliefs, Aglaya didn't take you in just so you can die for her Aranova.
The flame chase journey walks hand in hand with sacrifices. Isn't that why you're always running away from Lady Aglaya?
Fine. Never mind. We all have our own problems. I ain't gonna say anything anymore. It's not like I was gonna honor that bet anyway. But listen to me. Styxia is no tourist destination. Sure, the treasures buried in there are 10, no, 50 times richer than Aglaya's vault. Yet, I've never been there. And I never plan to. Because even a demigod can't be sure they can walk out of that place alive. And now I'm supposed to escort you to Styxia. Sure. Pay up. You know, you're not wrong. At least it's part of my responsibilities.
I don't like this. However, I have lived a longer life than most people. Though I'm not as good at doing business as Lady Aglaya, I still have some savings. I can give them all to you.
Then how are you going to live the rest of your life?
Then I'll give you 90. No, 80%.
Well, don't mind if I do. 80% of Castorice's savings and a bottle of dew of divine blood. Not a bad trade. Okay. I didn't know you hold grudges. Gray mystery. Here! Catch.
Be careful with that!
A minor change in plans, though. Don't go to the bath tomorrow. Come look for me at Akima's city gates instead.
So, why are you changing the meeting place?
Oh, nothing really. Just a bit scared of the seamstress's frosty face. I wouldn't stay a second longer in Akima if it were up to me. Well, now that we've struck a deal, why don't I give you guys a lift back? It's gonna be a long ride. So have a good rest.
Next day in Akima. Where am I? Is this my room? How did I get back here? This is a coin? It was Cypher, and she even tucked me in. Never mind, it's getting late. I better get going. Gray mystery. These formal addresses at the start of letters are such a hassle, and you've already read 3 useless Phantom Thief letters. I've left Princess Homebuddy's gift here. Take good care of it. Remember, skip the bath and come straight to Akima City Gate to find me. You know I've no patience. Come late and I'll leave without you. Clear. P.S. Yes, I'm the one who tucked you in. You're welcome. She's fun. Oh. My blood's back. That sounds so weird. Alright, everyone. So just so you know where we are, so that's 10 chapters. Pastriders Set Sail Upon the River Souls is chapter 6. And probably once we leave Akima, that'll be the end of that chapter. Probably. Not fully sure on that, but it is 6. So we are just past the halfway mark, at least when it comes to the chapters. Which is great for us because we have just hit the 2-hour mark, and we have what, 3 more weeks before this event ends, and so if we're on chapter 6 we might be able to get to that in a timely manner.
It's still early. Where to now?
Alright, let's do 2 things. 1, see if we can dump any more into the... So they successfully reset this thing, and they became the new demigods, which reset Amphorius for a certain amount of time. They got corrupted again, and then the cycle starts all over. So we were right in that there's like a secular history that they keep having. And in Exagrius... and Exagrius is trying to upset the balance. And see if he can become and raise himself to God's... oh my gosh. And see if he can raise himself to to like God level without taking on a core flame. Again, probably to upset the balance. So we almost have it fully maxed out where it currently is. It'll probably get some new levels once the next plot is introduced. And then... this is what I was looking for. Oh, Kalis, eyelashes are fluttering. That's the look of someone lost in thought. I love stories, but I adore them more when Kalis tells them. Just save a few for before bed, alright? Okay, we got some new cards. Oh, is this, Core flame, seclusion, skills, memo, engrave, warmth. Interesting. This is, oh my god, I always forget her name. The healer. Hyacinthia, that's what it is. Hyacinth. On the leaves, the rustling winds play a melody as the girl looks over the courtyard petite and exhales, gently dispersing the palm-held blessings. The entire yard is lit softly like a dandelion bathed in the sunlight.
Is this courtyard a tad too small? It's okay, Clementine. As long as it provides warmth plenty.
The girl makes the courtyard tidy, and in the ever night lands outside the holy city, there is now a light curing souls' maladies. The girl's skills can bring forth miracles, but today she welcomes a patient quite special.
Welcome to the Twilight Courtyard. How can I help you?
The gravely patient shakes their head.
The end times are coming, and we all wander more and more. Oh, you may heal our wounds, but you cannot cure despair.
I probably would have made that the gravely ill patient. The gravely patient, I don't really think makes sense, but the girl watches the patient leave, and her heart swells in sorrow.
Clementine, prepare some things of me. I want this place to be brighter tomorrow.
Since it's underlined, I wonder, since Hyacinth works with Aquila, the sky god, and Aquila is what controls the day-night cycle, kinda, in Amphorius, I wonder if this kind of thought process may have convinced Aquila to make it sunshine all the time. Also, how does anything grow in Amphorius if there's no day-night cycle? The red-headed child takes the girl's hand.
Long time no see, Hyacinth. Are you here in Akama for a visit, or do you need help from us?
The girl recounts her needs.
I want some shining things, even if they're considered junk.
Multicolored paper bags, crystal clear glass, cottons variously dyed, and the jingling wind chimes. The girl brings them back to the courtyard and spares no effort to decorate all around. And when some fireflies wander in, the girl is all smiles.
Little ones, thank you for your light.
The patient returns here and opens their eyes wide. Multicolored dreams on the rooftop now reside, and the lawns contain the sweet whispers of sunlight. A soft breeze passes with no hint of cold, only serving to wake the playful chimes and ocarinas of delight.
Wow, there's light everywhere. What a warm place.
The news is soon spread by the grove, and the people with empty hearts visit in droves. The girl prepares candies and teas and listens to every visitor's complaints. People say that there was once a star called the sun in the sky, but now the star is no longer there. People say that Aquila took away the world's light, but they still left behind a heart bright to illuminate this happy dream in the night. Like the blizzards in the mouth of morning, doth calamity fall, bearing warmth in dawn's cause. Orderless tides swallow up the grove of reason, and this tiny healing haven is also extinguished, broken, and barren. When the girl, far from home, hears of such grave news, the wind brings to her a moment of confusion, but also evaporates the tears that briefly sparkle into being, and the girl still smiles bright and happy. Soon the people of Akama see it once again, the girl collecting more pieces and tokens, wanting to rebuild that pure haven. But she never realized that wherever she stood, she herself was the holy courtyard and the light-filled haven. Born with an evil curse, her hands dipped into lethal cinnabar and white lead to personally decorate the faces of the dead. Her skills are said to bestow beauty on anyone, even transforming their appearance completely. Many skills were born out of her seclusion, but it painted her dwelling in a gloomy vision. Only a select few have set foot in this mansion, and the thief and the weaver were two such lucky persons. The girl converses with all items in the house, with specimens, tea sets, and even pillows in profusion, as if she can hear the responses of those non-living things.
I have always lived in isolation. Out of courtesy, this is how I practice my words and actions.
'Tis hard to believe her explanation. Her face when talking shows such gentle disposition that unless she is telling fabrication, she must regard her partners as mere children. People passed these rumors down. Within the area of her encirclement, all things became frozen, escaping time's increments. It is an exaggeration that is certain. People only found an ancient lion's head in a battle ruins, armaments.
Those words are true.
The head itself was nearly dead.
Though they won in fierce battle, the warriors were powerless to turn the tide. It was the embrace where death dwelled that gave early release from their pain.
This is how death escapes time. She keeps every final embrace hidden in her immortal heart. Interesting. I feel like that has some symbolicism with what's happening with Kalis and Castorice currently, because Kalis is like slipping through Death's fingers, currently using the power of like time and memory. Out of her numerous works, butterflies and flowers often stand out stark. Ignite them and you can almost hear the maker's remark. Even in death's silence, her sound can still be heard. It is a gift greatly treasured by the maiden. Few have the honor to be graced with such work. Only one has the heart to burn such a gift, and the reason she gives is rather far-fetched.
I must peer into all fates unknown.
The power of time is boundless, but there's one thing it cannot conquer.
Death is abominable in humans' eyes. Apart from my identity, there's nothing about me worthy of praise.
The beloved golden weaver hears this in distress and tries to teach her the art of weaving in threads. It has been said that the maiden has works that the holy city possess, but this is the judgment the golden weaver expresses.
Well, none can know all things, nor be skilled in all crafts. Her works are too early for the living to comprehend.
Anyway, so I had a thought about Castorice. So it shows that in the prior generation of Titans, that the twins had to essentially sacrifice one of them so that the other could become the demigod. And then when the demigod was made, they're like, okay, I'm going to essentially reincarnate your soul so that you can live on by yourself. But if you go back to the dragon story that they told, where it's like the queen was so sad at their daughter's death that they would use the alchemy that the like scholar told them to bring them back, and then the dragon ate all of humanity in one big gulp. It seems very similar to what was happening there with Castorice. Is like, oh, the queen in this case was their other twin, Polixia, and then they brought Castorice back using alchemy that was taught to them by Calypso, in a sense, using their power as the new Thanatos Death Titan, and then the Black Tide is slowly taking over the planet kind of deal. I could be reading too much into it. I hope that they make these cards into like actual playing cards. I would love to buy these. This is a tale buried in history. One day a student elated in victory dashed across the grove's territory.
I saw the spell the professor carved on his body.
The youth with white hair was beside himself in joy.
It must be a power most secret. A means for one man to stand against 1,000.
The spell was rare indeed, for it was a secret way to overturn a cart of hay. The scholar was still a mortal body, and yet to snatch life from death or to reforge a new flesh through a god's remedy. Various minute tricks and parody. He studied them all, crafting schemes oh so busy. For everyone knows he wishes not to use the divine power that is his, refusing rightful custody. And in that unwitnessed moment of his death, final tragedy, he still held the Heir spell steady, standing alone, facing the evil enemy. Now that the craft is regarded as a magnificent study, not because of what it was, but because of its purpose, known to everybody. In fact, he once crafted miracles, forging silent servants using soil as vehicle. Though no sentience, they do their job without obstacles, rivaling Titankin in spectacle. However, one day he suddenly changes his tune.
Creation is the Titan's work, and slavery is the Titan's manacle. When imitating divine evil, there's no need to invest reason, most pinnacle.
When the servants have all been recycled, he deigns not to explain, fearing to waste his reason or muscle, so he jokingly concludes the question with a chuckle.
If it's just for odd jobs, students are a better gamble.
The way he addresses himself comes from elsewhere, an imitation of a divine machine with some flair. He happily answers 5 questions for those unaware, knowledge seemingly given with stingy care.
For a wise one, 5 answers reveal creation's secrets, the truth hidden and bold. But a fool learns but not, and is left in the cold. Now, inquire.
That is, in fact, the scholar's crafty snare. He hides the answer he seeks behind questions posed by those unaware, doling breadcrumbs as bait to lure and to compare, whether the inquirer may be worthy of his wisdom to share. The scholar never looks at laws and measurements, ignoring the flow and shift of time's passage, and uncomprehending students gospel in eager regiments.
He is panicked by the flow of time, for his work is yet done, yet to implement.
This man is too arrogant, and he intends to desecrate Orynyx's accomplishments.
Okay, they did not leave space for me to say anything, so... The student answer seems rather adamant. The stubborn assistant interjects in a rare display of testament. The passing sage from another school brings admonishment. Outside the courtyard, the gossip flows into the scholar's ear. He silently gives a grade to every question and argument, but none know the true answer according to his judgment. Okay, so these kind of look like they follow the, I don't think there's enough for a full deck, but they kind of follow the major arcana in how they're set up. You can definitely see it in Anaxagrius's, and they keep calling him the Fool, and it is very much like the Fool, the upside down major arcana, which the Fool is about starting a new journey, starting a new path, overturning kind of deal. And then Kefali being the world bearer, it would make sense if he is the world card, but with the sword, I'm curious if they're more going for a judgment card, but it would make more sense for him to be the world kind of deal. I think they probably are going to go for the king. I can also see it being, is the warrior card or is that a separate thing I'm thinking of? But I can definitely see the king with Mighty's card. And then obviously the death card for Castorice. Oh, let me look up. What do we think? Major Arcana. This one, she's probably the Hierophant. I need to look them up because I can't list all of them right offhand. But yeah, so I would imagine that she's the Hierophant potentially. Or the High Priestess. I could see her being the High Priestess card. I said the King, but this is supposed to be the Emperor. Like I said, I didn't remember them right offhand. I could also see him being the Magician, because they also keep calling him the Magician as well. But but I would say she's probably either the High Priestess or the Hierophant. As I said, I think he's either Justice or the World. Ah, that's what I was trying to remember what it was called. The Wheel of Fortune is what I would probably guess for these. For them. Either that or maybe the Tower, because of what the Tower represents. And then, just for like her relation to the sky, either like the sun or the moon cards or the star card. So, like, I feel like they're relating these cards or these characters also a little bit to the major arcana, but that could be a stretch. Everyone's stories are so deep, I can't keep up. Does Kalis understand them? What is God exactly? That sounds so sad, doesn't it? That means they could never truly look forward to hearing a story, could they? But still, I don't quite get it, so let me ask in another way. There must be a difference between gods and us, right? Otherwise, why would anyone ever want to become a god? But in the stories of old, the Titans also had their own suffering, right? Because their pain was, how should I say it, greater? Would that somehow make it easier to bear? As I keep asking, I only get more and more confused. Maybe I'll wait until I've grown a little more before discussing these things with Kalis. Alright everyone, that is where we will leave it off for today. Hopefully everyone will have a lot of fun this upcoming, oh my god, stretch. I've been sitting in one spot for too long. Hopefully everybody else is evening out their emotions after that very emotional cutscene. And then I'm excited to see what next week brings us. And then also we will cross our fingers and hope for Anaxagrius to come home a bit early. Because if we want both him, his light cone, and Dr. Ratio's light cone, we don't quite have enough pulls to guarantee that. So hopefully he'll be a little bit, he will be a bit kind to us. We are at guarantee. I will remind everyone of that. We are guaranteed on the character banner. So even if it does take us to hard pity, we know for a fact we'll get Anaxagrius, but the light cone situation, that's in the Titans and the Eon's hands. So I will see you all next time. I hope you have a great rest of your week and a good rest of your day. Sleep well. Bye everyone.